So REE have begun delivering the HO scale SNCF Corail VU couchettes and ambulance cars. These were built from the 1970s onwards and still feature in international sleeper trains today. So a nice addition to the range and really interesting liveries. So you've got the ambulance cars seem to be in this older concrete and green livery with some highlighting around the windows. And they have bunks running the length of the carriage. And then you've got the more standard couchettes where you have compartments with bunks inside and ladders which are visible inside. The ambulance cars, I think, come from something that happened in the First World War. Certainly the French have specified that certain coaches can be converted into ambulance trains, and so they have this large access door in the middle. But they are used in general service. It's in emergency they can be sequestered. So they are beautifully painted, and they do feature the NEM coupler pockets in a kinematic. You've got a standard European hoop coupling in there. You can swap it over whatever you want. They are done to the REE access standards, which means that they are simplified a bit. But on these large modern coaches, I don't think that really has much concern. The interiors are a couple of different colours as opposed to the multicoloured prints on some of their coaches. And the bogies and underframes are moulded parts rather than loads of individual parts, which, when you consider that the skirts hide most of that, is irrelevant on a lot of coaches anyway. So they've really thought through the design of these. They do they couple quite closely with the hoop couplings as well. But I imagine that the Roco or Fleischmann Profi couplings will bring them even closer. They're nice and free rolling. You've got painted ends there as well. And everything is clearly printed, good demarcations on the colours. So it's nice to see some new coaches coming in. They have announced quite a number of these coaches, and what's arrived so far seems to be largely the twin packs of couchettes and ambulance cars. I think there's a few pages of them. Yes, there's more on that page. It looks like they're doing a run with the second classes, because at the moment the only individual coaches we've received are all first class couchettes. So there's quite a few yet to come, so no doubt they'll turn up in the next month or so. Okay, they have put them in the access range, so I was a bit intrigued by that. So I've opened a couple of them to have a look. So here is one of the first class sleepers. So when the body's on, actually you can't really tell. They've got the ladders there, there's detail coming through. But they have gone to a simpler interior than they'd normally fit. So on a lot of their coaches they do full multicoloured prints inside. Here they've just reduced it to a couple of colours and the luggage racks and ladders. But not that noticeable until you open it up. There are some other nice design features. They've started fitting most of their coaches with pinpoint bearing pickups, insulated middles, so you can wire to these little attachment points and run cables up through a hole in the coach if you want to fit interior lights. So their design process has streamlined over the years, so they're very usable coaches now. The other thing is to reduce part count. The handrails there, they are separate, but they're actually moulded on the ends of the sides, and the doors are a separate piece. It's very cleverly done. And I think they've also tried to put slightly different blind arrangements on each one of the coaches. So some of the blinds are drawn, and it's different on different coaches. So it's really quite impressive. They've had to, well, this is the more affordable range, the REE Access. But I don't think you'd know it from just looking at the coaches. As I say, here's one of the ambulance coaches. And I've opened this one up, and again you've got slightly reduced colouring inside. And the way that the little bed bays work inside them is very different. Oops, go back. I think this is the same arrangement. Yeah, same pickup system. And there's a little hole in the middle. You'd have to use some dark wire so they're not so noticeable if you wanted to illuminate the interior of these coaches. I'll put that down in a minute. Otherwise, you've got kinematics there, close coupling with NEM pockets. So just as a quick experiment, I've mocked it up with a light bar. Haven't soldered anything in. I've just pushed the wires through, and it's got good light containment. There's no bleed. You probably have to make sure that the bar moves because the top bunk sort of casts a shadow in each of the compartments. But yeah, interesting. And from the corridor side, it looks quite good as well. And the inventive amongst you might want to put lamps in the corridor as well, but that's involves cutting and resoldering strips. That's a whole different gambit. But yeah, so it would be quite easy to fit lights to these units. So a quick mock-up of one of the ambulance cars. I think they'd both be better with warm white light strips. I only had a yellow one in stock at the moment, so it was just a quick test to see what the interiors would look like. And it's just resting on top of the bunks as it were at the moment, so it'd probably be better if it was adhered to the top of the coach itself. Raise it up a bit. But yeah, just worth a quick test.